From longtime fans thinking that casting Pratt as Mario is a disservice to the original voice actor, to the casual audience just straight up hating on his portrayal of the Italian plumber, people seem to really be hating on Chris Pratt for being Mario. In fact, the actor has had his work cut out for him ever since he was first announced to take on the role. People weren't exactly optimistic when they found out that the Guardians of the Galaxy star would be Mario, and things only got worse when fans actually got to see his rendition of the character in the movie's first official trailer. Guess what? His take on the iconic video game was about as bland and boring as you can expect. It sounded less like Mario and more like, well, just Pratt. Really, it feels like he's just doing his regular voice, which made fans even angrier.
Oh, I got this. No problem. Yes! No! Get it off, get it off, get it off! Whoa.
It's one thing to have a random star like Pratt take on the role, but the fact that it felt like he wasn't even trying just rubbed fans the wrong way. It's safe to say most people weren't pleased with his performance. After all, the Italian charm is what makes Mario such a likable guy. If you remove all of that and just make him sound like any white guy, then what's even the point? After so many years of eating mushrooms and climbing down pipes, fans have Mario's voice cemented in their heads. And so, to many of them, Chris's rendition is basically a slap on their faces. That said, there were some who thought that this was a much-needed change. According to some fans, Mario's original voice was way too stereotypically Italian.
It's a me, Mario! Woohoo! Let's go!
It almost feels like it's mocking the Italian accent in a way. So it would honestly make sense why they'd want something more neutral for a big release like this. And honestly, I disagree with this sentiment. While, sure, his voice may feel a bit exaggerated, but it's supposed to be, right? After all, he's a video game character that fights dinosaurs and eats mushrooms. Nothing about the guy is supposed to make sense. So why bother adding real-world concepts to him at all? Plus, there's the fact that the voice has become iconic and recognized over the years. Even if it feels stereotypical, I think it's more aligned with Mario than it is with Italian people. Either way, Nintendo decided to avoid having to deal with this issue, and instead opted for a cast that was glittering with star power, probably in the hopes that this would, by itself, propel the movie further. Hey, considering there's some really famous people in this, like Jack Black and Charlie Day, alongside MCU's poster boy Chris Pratt himself, their strategy may just end up working out. But dang, for longtime fans like myself, it's just kind of a bummer that Mario's voice feels like such a letdown in an otherwise awesome movie. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. Many fans took to Twitter and other social media websites to share their disappointment with Chris's rendition of Mario. Some responses called him out for it, especially because of the comments he made beforehand. Chris said that his version of Mario would be something like the fans haven't heard in the Mario world. And when it turns out that it was just his regular voice, fans were obviously not happy. Someone on Twitter said that Pratt's regular voice doesn't exist in Mario World. So I suppose what he said, while misleading, was technically true. Another fan mentioned how despite most things in the trailer being almost perfect, the fact that Mario's voice just feels so off is a huge disappointment, especially when he's the main character. You'll probably be hearing him in just about every scene, and when it serves as a reminder that who you're hearing is Chris, I'm sure fans aren't going to have the best time. People even began posting memes. One meme used the shot of Mario clutching his chest from the first trailer, and said that this was their reaction to hearing Chris's voice. Ouch. harsh, but all things considered, quite fair. Plus, Chris's Mario's even more hateable when you consider the fact that his co-stars are bringing their A-games. Like, look at Jack Black's Bowser or Charlie Day's Luigi. Both of those actors have brought their own flair to the role, but still managed to make it feel like the same iconic voices that fans are used to. That's how it's done, Chris. In fact, fans have been raving about almost every single actor in the film, even Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong, which I thought was going to get a fair amount of hate, turned out to be a hit among fans. It really goes to show that just because you may be the most famous star in the cast, it doesn't automatically mean you're going to outshine the competition. While Chris may be a big MCU hotshot, the fact that he's struggling to give fans a good voice of Mario, of all characters, well, it's kind of embarrassing. And to make matters worse, fans are angry that Pratt took away the opportunity from the character's longtime voice actor. As many people may know, Mario has been voiced in the games by legendary voice actor Charles Martinet. Fans felt like it was a bit disrespectful to not give the role to him. After all, it's his iconic voice that's cemented in everyone's heads. Everyone thinks of him when they think of Mario. So obviously fans came to his support when it turned out that he wasn't the one voicing the Italian plumber. Plus, it wasn't just fans. Veteran voice actors like Tara Strong also shared their opinions on the matter. Strong stated that it should have been Charles that played Mario in the movie, and honestly, I agree. It doesn't help that Pratt's take on the role is as bland as plain bread. Strong's post about Charles managed to cross 35,000 likes, so it's obvious that fans definitely think it should have been him in the role. Pratt hasn't made an official statement on this, nor has Nintendo, but it said that Charles will actually have a cameo in the final film, which is cool for sure, but I still think the entire role should have been his. But hey, what can you do, am I right? That said, one good thing did come out from all this, and it was that fans came out in droves to appreciate Charles and all his years of hard work. A bit of this was thanks to Tara, who urged her fans and followers to share their images and stories of Charles. She wanted everyone to know that even though Nintendo may be trying to push the actor to the side, his fans were still there with him. Many people shared their experiences with Charles and what it was like to meet him. No surprise, every single one of these experiences was positive because he's just a genuinely amazing dude. Charles got on Twitter himself and shared his thoughts on the matter. Firstly, he thanked Tara for doing all this and also showed his appreciation for the fans for the amazing things they've said about him. He wanted to make everyone know just how much their kindness meant to him, and that people's words about him really touched his heart. Martinet ended the message by saying that his eyes were filled with tears. That's honestly so wholesome. It's clear that his response was super genuine and amazing, and it's hard to not want to see a dude as cool as him get a chance on the big screen. I don't really think Chris will be able to get the same level of appreciation, even if he does a great job in the movie, but that's all the reasons why fans absolutely hate Pratt's rendition of Mario.